The following is a presentation of Manatee Schools Television in association with TV production teachers and students.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the MSTV Game of the Week presentation. We are here on the long side of Florida, all the way out in the district at the Parrish Community High School as they take on the Palmetto Tigers. I am today just the play-by-play, and I'm joined with some special guests here, Mr. Eli Donnell and Mr. Will Porter, some former students of ours that have come and blessed us with their presence again. Guys, Eli, how's it been since you've been here in the program?
It's been good. It's been good. I enjoyed my time here and then moved off to college at Florida Gulf Coast University. Now I'm pursuing a golf degree and then doing some announcing on ESPN+.
Nice. And Will, how's it been since you've been here?
It's been good. It's been a little bit. I've just been gone. I've been working, doing different things. About to go in, after this year, I'll be going into my senior year. We'll be doing a bunch of dual enrollment. Hoping to be out here more and just be able to commentate all these great sports and see all these great athletes do their thing.
Wow, thank you so much. And I'm getting a little bit of a brief from the truck that we had our amazing field reporter, Brooklyn, get some interviews with the team's players. Let's go to that real quick.
Hey guys, yeah, I did talk to the coaches before the game, starting with the Palmetto coach, Andrew Emery. He said tonight's district game, it's going to be a tight one, but he's confident. He said Coach Aaron Spivey's got a strong team, and they're very respective of that. This is an important district matchup to them, and it's important for them to show well because there is a possibility they could play again in the playoffs. As for the seniors, he said they've been the best. They've shown leadership, humility, and grace, and they've shown growth, and they'll leave a legacy on the school. And speaking of seniors, we actually talked to one of them prior to the game. Check it out. You guys came out strong last game and beat Lakewood Ranch. How was that game for you?
It was very emotional. It was like an emotional roller coaster because you were up the whole game, and then they tied it in the end. But then we came back and fought as a team, put on 5 runs, and then took the win home.
So how do you carry that into tonight's game against a really strong Parrish team?
Well, we take all the energy and all that like positive energy that we have going from that game and carry it all the way like through each other as teammates because we're all so close, and we all just carry it through one another because we can trust each other.
And then how's your senior season been?
It's been really fun, actually. I've been really enjoyed, like,
yeah, and then as for
game,
Coach Aaron Spivey, she said,
not having many worries.
do what you can do tonight.
How you feeling
about
the
playoffs coming up? Stay focused as
I'm
well.
excited. I feel like we could actually. I feel like we could like
tonight,
go pretty far if we like just learn to trust each other and have fun. I'm not scared.
All right, thank you. You guys.
Assisted by Allison Varnado, Andrew Damon, Chuck Haig, and Courtney Collins. And now your Parrish Community High School Bulls.
And ladies and gentlemen, as we come back in with the introductions of the lineups, we'll be right back with the Parrish Community
Senior captain
interviews of the players. We'll be right back after these lineup announcements as well.
Senior captain number 12, Carson Carl. Freshman number 13, Kylie Novatric. Freshman number 14, Miley Gilbert.
Yeah, because by that time they'll be done with national
Sophomore
anthem.
number 18, Sophia Thomas. Freshman number 20, Kinsley Cameron. Sophomore hurler number 23, Emmeline Van Dyke. And now your starters for Parrish Community High School. Leading off at shortstop, senior captain number 4, Josie Rody. In right field, wearing number 9, sophomore Kendall France. At second base, sophomore number 17, Alyssa Jones. Cleanup, behind the dish, wearing number 7, sophomore Cassidy Ard. The lighthouse at first base, senior captain number 10, Hannah Lewis. At the hot corner, sophomore number 27, Mackenzie Pandello. In center field, number 22, sophomore Madalena Chapman. That lone junior at designated player, number 5, Bailey Fields. Freshman number 15, playing left field, Josie Bird. In the circle tonight, senior captain, number 11, Sophia Mandarin. The Bulls are coached by Miss Erin Spivey. She's assisted by Buddy Yarn, Allie Yarn, and Mr. Chris Townsley. Your umpires tonight, behind the dish, Mr. Scott Moriak, and on the bases, Mr. Marty Lester. We're going to pause and in tandem do the national anthem with the ball game going over on the baseball field. Please stand by. Play ball.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the MSTV Game of the Week presentation. Before we get back into the game, I believe that we have another amazing interview brought to you by Brooklyn. We're going to swing over to that.
Yeah, we've got the back-to-back defending state champion Parrish Community Bowls. We've got Coach Erin Spivey talking about the team. She said she's happy about their 5 seniors. They're all committed to colleges, and that's always the goal, is commitment. She said the goal tonight is to do what they can do and to make a good run and to stay focused. And she said there's always going to be pressure going into the playoffs, even after, especially after championships, so they are getting used to dealing with that pressure. We talked with one of the seniors before the game. Check it out. We're going? All right. I am here with senior Bella Yazzetti. How you feeling about tonight's game?
I'm very excited. I'm very excited.
How has your senior season been?
So far, it's been amazing. The girls are wonderful. Our coaching staff is great. We've really made a run for our money coming into this next year. I think I'm truly proud of us for taking that step forward and continuing having a great season after the past 2 years that we've had.
And then how are you feeling about the playoffs coming up?
I'm also very excited. There's some good competition this year, but I think we'll be able to handle it just fine.
All right, thanks, Bella.
Leading it off for the Tigers, second baseman number 3, Caroline Kraft.
And ladies and gentlemen, as we get back into the game, we have leading off at the mound, number 3, Caroline Kraft for the Palmetto Tigers, the first hit of the game. A great way for her to set the tone for the team. And speaking of setting the tone, I want to set the tone right here with Eli, just giving us a little bit deeper analysis of where you've been since the program's been going. I know you just graduated last year from Parrish, and now I hear that you're at FGCU.
I did. Graduated last year. Now back here, back where my announcing route started, back with the great Frederick. and Will, of course. Just this program is so great. It really gets you into what you can do in your future, and it's been just great to be back and join the crew again.
We sure do miss you here, Eli.
Thank you.
Definitely so. And Eli, we hear that you're working with ESPN2
ESPN
at
Plus.
FGCU announcing games.
I am ESPN Plus on doing some baseball and softball announcing, and then doing graphics for during the basketball and volleyball season.
And how do you think MSTV contributed to, you know, your growth and your learning on to the next level? Do you feel like it gave you a nice platform to jump off of?
It did, yeah. It showed what is possible and what there is to do in the media department, and now pursuing a golf degree and then going to get a minor in journalism and see where I go down the road. And this is just one of the great programs.
Nice. Well, you know, we're always excited not only to have new students join the game, but even have returning, because, you know, that's what this program's all about, pouring into and investing into the next generation. And we see already it's paying dividends as Parrish gets a nice hit to first base, out for Caroline Kraft at her first at bat. And I love the taste of red clay as the wind is blowing directly at us at this Parrish field. You know, one of the great things about this Parrish field is that it's so nice. You know, the school's so new, but one of the bad things about it is that the way we're set up, the wind and the sun's blowing right at us. But it makes me feel like I'm in the game.
I agree.
Stepping up here, number 48, Leilani Cruz. Leilani Cruz, a big piece of this Palmetto Tiger team as they took on the last game that we covered at Lakewood Ranch. She had some amazing base running, stole a base actually, on a play to set up a throw to second for the runner on third to come home. But she's been all over, especially on the outfield. She plays a great shortstop. She's a good catcher, and she keeps her eyes and head on a swivel. So you got to really watch out for and take account of.
Going back to that Palmetto game, that was a really close nail-biter of a game that we covered. It was just neck and neck the whole time almost, and then Palmetto just ultimately ran away with it at the end there.
100% right. You know, at that last game, Palmetto Tigers struck first. They were able to get a nice 3-run lead, which carried into about, I believe, the 7th. And Lakewood Ranch battled back off the hit of a home run. So a really big spark was lit under the Lakewood Ranch. The Mustangs were stampeding, able to push it to extra innings. They kind of fell short. The Tigers came out fierce in extra innings, put up a lot of points on the board, and Lakewood Ranch had no answer. And we'll be speaking a little bit more about Palmetto because they have number 16, McKenna Lee, who was amazing that last game at closing out for pitching. She's coming up, I believe, on 500 strikeouts pretty soon. I was speaking with Coach Emery, and, you know, this is something he reiterated again from last time. You know, what are you going to see when you come to this team? You're going to see amazing pitching, you're going to see good base running, and you're going to see good fielding. And that's something that you can guarantee as we get a good solid hit from Cruz as she takes off to first base, being the first player to get on base in this game.
Good hit there from Cruz, just found that hole between third and short. And that's all you need. She's the second best hitter on the Palmetto team with that batting .345, only behind Lee, who's at a whopping .434.
Hall of Fame level hitting here. You know, you got girls. One thing about this Palmetto team that I saw last time we covered them is that they are not afraid to swing the bat. You can throw a piece of a chocolate cake over them and they'll hit it. They'll hit anything you put over that batter's box. And so this team is well equipped to handle any type of pitching pressure.
Another thing about both of these teams, especially this Palmetto team, they're mainly young driven. They have a lot of freshmen, they have a lot of sophomores and juniors, not a lot of upperclassmen there, especially with Parrish. You have only 5 seniors. A lot of these starters out here are sophomores.
And that's 100% right. Both teams coming into this game very young. The big difference is Parrish is coming in off of 2 back-to-back championships. And that's huge because although they're younger girls, they know what it's like to be in a championship state. They know what it's like to train like a champion. They know what it's like to be on the highest stage. They know what it's like to compete when you have nothing left. And so that's what makes Parrish so fierce, in the fact that you have girls who are, although they're young on paper, they're almost like veterans in the game. As action resumes here, into the batter's box, the pitcher hitting, I believe he said over 400.
She is, yeah, 434. That is
434, number 16, McKenna Lee. Definitely someone you have to worry about very tall girl, and she uses all of her height in whenever she swings the bat.
Very tall. It's hard to picture you're tall, so that really hard for the batters to read exactly what angle the ball is coming out of the hand at. Being tall can be an advantage, can also be a disadvantage as a batter.
And as you can see, Leilani Cruz putting a lot of pressure on this interior defense of Parrish, as she is very fast and can and will steal a base. And it's a couple wild throws so far, an 0-2 count. We'll see if they can fight back the right way. On the mound, we have number 11.
Sophia Mandarin.
Sophia Mandarin.
It's going to be really interesting to see how this game turns out. You can already see they're showing fierce and just a strong fight and will to do whatever it takes already this early into the game. And like we mentioned, both of these teams have some really strong key pieces to them. For Parrish, I know we talked about Palmetto a little bit, but for Parrish, they have players like Kendall Franz and Alyssa Jones and Cassidy Ott. All of them are sophomores, and they were a really big key piece last year in their states run. And they're definitely looking to three-peat, and you can tell just by watching them how dedicated they are to make that three-peat. And their stats show it. They're 6th in the state right now for a reason.
100% true. As we have Lee being walked to first base on the pitching, and Emery looking to make a couple plays, a couple calls here.
Really good at bat there by Lee to draw that walk. Got down to the 0-2 count, and she batted way back.
And we have a substitute here. On the mound, they're bringing in number 21, Macy Lee from McKinley as a designated runner. At the plate now, number 31, Kaylee Peters. And I spoke to Kaylee Peters' mom and grandparents, and they're repping Michigan, you know, but they've been in Florida for a long time, coming on 30 years here. And one of the things they also discussed with me is that the Palmetto team has really been on the road a lot. They've been playing a lot of back-to-back schedules. This being, I believe, their 3rd game in a row, and last week they had 3 games in a row. And right after this is going to be prom, so there's a lot riding for this team here. She gets a nice little small hit, which is going to go to first and easy out. Going to move everyone forward, but Leilani Cruz is going to take off, and they're going to call her out at home.
What a play there, especially by the catcher there, number 7, Cassidy Ott. Amazing to see. She was ready for that. Just, I don't mean to switch topics, but going back to what you're saying, it's crazy how Palmetto is just hitting back to back to back, especially, I don't know how they're going to do it with their prom. I'm still tired from our prom. I'm still trying to recover, and that was days ago.
Right. You know, what a great heads-up play right there from Palmetto. You know, keeping, again, we spoke about Leilani Cruz earlier and how fast she is and she's willing to take the risk. But there it shows she was willing to go for her home, but the Parrish Bulls were there. And speaking of, again, back to what you were saying about the back-to-backness, it definitely is a lot as a player, especially when a lot of their games are back-loaded on the home, on the away front. So that means they're not at home, they're not able to get to school and just stay there. They got to go on the road, they got to come back, they got to shower. It's a lot of things that go into that as a player that make you tired. In addition, you still got to do your homework.
Yeah.
Switching gears here, we're going to kick it back to Brooklyn here, and she is going to be outside the production truck to showcase some of the students in the van who are some of the amazing people who bring this broadcast to you. Without them, we wouldn't be able to run MSTV. So we'll be right back as that happens.
Carl, can you hear me? I can't, I have to hold my main button down to get it to talk. I can't press and let go. First world problems. I have to hold down my main button to get it to stay. Like I click and then let go and it just goes back to red. It works now.
And ladies and gentlemen, we're back here into the game. We'll showcase some of those amazing van students a little bit later. Coming into the bottom of the first, we have the Bulls with leading off.
Jersey Brody leading off for the Bulls. Batting at 400. All of the Bulls, very high batting average. Good to see a team that's won back-to-back state championships looking for a 3rd straight, which pretty hard to do, especially moving a district from 5A to 6A. They're 20-2 overall, 2-0 in the district, 6th ranked in the whole state. So the Bulls are one of the top teams to look for in the state.
Yes, and you know, you spoke about this. You know, I got a chance to speak with Coach Spivey before this, and one of the good things you love about this game, this thing about life, especially in Florida, we have a lot of homegrown talent. Coach Spivey coming out of Palmetto herself, and then going to play at SCF, and then also going to play at another college in Miami, but then coming back to the area, coaching a little bit more, and now she ends up here at Parrish. But one of the biggest questions I asked her was, how does someone stay hungry after winning 2 back-to-back championships? And her answer was, you know, she has a great, talented group of girls who understand what it takes to win, and they understand that nothing's going to be given. They have to work hard for everything. And so that's something that she wants to instill in all her girls, to let them know that she's always got their back, but understand nothing's going to be given. You got to earn it.
That's a great answer there. And like I've said, she shows it, and their team shows that they're listening to what she's saying. With their batting average specifically, like what Eli was talking about, you have, I'm seeing a bunch of 400s here. You got Alyssa Jones batting 489, and you have Pandello batting 472, and then you have, like you said, Rode with 400, and Chapman also has 400. It's clear to see that they're listening to what Spivey's saying, and they're 100%. Taking it to heart.
100%. You know, these girls are, again, even though they may look young on paper, they're very well-oiled machine. They've been at the top. They know how it feels. They know how it feels to be the new kid on the block, and they know how it feels to be a champion team. As we have some changing at the mound right now.
Another
a little bit of malfunction, looks like, with the headgear. Stepping up at the batter's box, number 9, Kendall France, someone that I believe we have not seen before. I believe she is, a sophomore, so she was part of that last year freshman team that went all the way to states.
France batting 390. Just hard to explain how one team can bat so well and win all these games. And she just, year after year, all these girls, they just, with a team so good, you keep the same girls together, they're going to be good influence on each other, and they're all going to learn how to hit well. This is 1 inning, 2 pitching match changes.
1,000%, you know, and that's the tough part about this game, because you want to call it and you come in and you say it's almost like, you know, the Celtics in the NBA. You're like, wow, this team, they just came off a championship. They're hot, you know, they're ready to go. They're on fire. But you have a hungry team like Palmetto who's been, you know, patiently waiting and building year upon year success. And so it doesn't make it an easy matchup for either of these people, especially when you have all-star pitching like this on Palmetto that really puts a lot of pressure on offenses here, because they can't get anything going. They can't get into a rhythm.
Tigers coming into this game 12-6, 1-1 in the district, 82nd ranked in the state. So this is 2 of the top teams in this district, 6A, District 7. So that's another strike in there.
Coming to a 1-2 count here. So Lee McKenna Lee up right now as she checks the wrist wear. She's going to go back into her bag of tricks. Reaches back, throws that one. Whew, that one's popped up in the air. Goes into the crowd towards the van. Never mind. Van is safe.
Wind blowing straight back into us here.
Unlike last game we covered, Lakewood Ranch, the wind was actually blowing straight to the right, and that's where that home run was hit. Right now the wind is blowing back towards us now, so no advantage on either side. Going to make it a little bit tougher for balls to get a little far. That one popped up and back again towards the van twice.
Safe again.
Safe again.
Real winning, you got to make it up. If any girl puts it up in the air, it's going to be tough on the fielders to keep it lined up. The wind is just going to swirl that ball around like a tornado.
100%. Yeah. You're going to get a lot of backspin on that ball as it's up in the air. The ump coming out of nowhere with a ball from the dugout, Parrish.
On deck for Parrish here. We've talked about her a lot tonight, Alyssa Jones, Parrish's heavy hitter. It'll be interesting to see what she does with this first at-bat.
That's going to be 100% interesting to see her get up here at the bat, as we have the ump getting a little dirt on the ball there.
Roughing up these balls.
Roughing it up.
Fresh from the box. We've already gone through 3 balls, now into the 4th.
Right. Definitely has been a long fight here at the mound. I can't really see there. I think we're 2-2 right now. Listen, throws. That one's going to be hit, going to go out. Not touched by the third baseman. It's going to slide past their foul.
Good idea there. Shoot it right down the line down third. Maybe get a lucky hop off the bag or whatever. It's a long throw from third to first.
Most definitely.
You know, in the high school level, you know, sometimes a lot of mistakes happen, and you want someone to either ball slides past them on third, hits the base, hits the ground, turns around. That one's going to be popped towards
just foul again.
The Tiger dugout, going to go foul.
Great at bat here by France. You can see why she's got that 390 average and 59 at bats. It's just 23 hits in those 59 at bats, 10 RBIs. Most of the Eagles with, or most of the Bulls, excuse me, with double-digit RBIs.
The team that gets people in position as she swings out on that one and is retired to the dugout. Going to be tagging in number 17, Alyssa Jones, someone we saw last year. Didn't really see her out here too much last year, I don't remember. But now she's stepped up and taken a bigger league into this offense and team.
Best average on the team, 489. Again, just some crazy numbers by the Bulls.
As she gets her first pitch, doesn't swing at that one. That one's at her knees.
McKenna Lee is showing that how strong and how hard she's willing to fight here. Like I've said it a lot tonight, Palmetto and Parrish are both showing the determination and how strong they're willing to fight, and it's really cool to see just how dedicated. You can see how determined she is with every single pitch. She's leaving it all out there tonight.
Definitely so. You know, it's early in this game. She's already been working. Not something you want to see from a coaching perspective because you really don't want your pitchers getting worked as much. And last time, they didn't pull her the whole game. So she has a lot of stamina, so I know she can handle it. But with this team, it's definitely going to be a fight, so you want to keep her as fresh as possible as she gets a 1-1 for now. That one will be right down the middle, picture perfect. 2-1 count.
Especially having all these games back to back to back to back. You don't really want to use up that bullpen because you're going to have a game down the road where you're going to need a bullpen game. All your starters are going to be dead, and you're going to need to throw in your bullpen, and you're going to tell them to get to work and do what they do best.
Definitely so. And another one hit towards second, miss. That's when he get it by, and is going to be touched by the center fielder, not picked up. That's going to lead to one extra base for Alyssa Jones, who scores herself a double at her first at-bat.
Great hit and great play by Jones there. Seems like Palmetto's outfield is still trying to work out a few little errors and just still trying to get a little warmed up. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. Just got to wait and see. Up next, you have number 7, Cassidy Ott, the catcher.
Cassidy Ott coming up here. The catcher looking to make something happen. Alyssa putting herself in scoring position. If they can get another one to sneak on the ground, be an easy way to lead off this game with a point. That one thrown low.
Cassidy has a 391 average with 46 at-bats.
So someone who can hit and has been at the bat a lot. You know, one thing you look down the stat sheet and you see a lot of these girls have played almost a full season, if not for 1 or 2 games missed. So they're very well maintained. They're coming into this game very prepared, very warm, coming in with a lot of experience, especially in this new step-up district as well. So playing a little bit better competition and coming at it head on. Coming in at a 1-2 count. Lee reaches back, throws. That one low again.
Like you said before, the wind is not helping, and it is clearly showing right now.
Right. Lee has been throwing these a little bit lower. Maybe she's compensating. She is a taller pitcher herself. So she has good command of the ball right now. She's missing low pretty much every time, which is good. So you can tell her, hey, you just need to bring it up a little bit.
The low miss is much better than the high miss.
And that one's right down the middle again. Great throw. 2-2 count.
Low miss, you're going to come at it more of like a golf swing, where that high miss, you're going to be able to come through and power through with the shoulders, where you're going to be kind of more scooping on that low. So if you're going to miss, you're going to want to miss low. Low and away is the best spot to miss.
Right.
I agree.
Better it's going to foul off or be a nice fly ball, something that they can be fielded. That one's going to zip right past her. And that's going to send her back to the base. Nope, never mind. I lied. Is a 3-2 count.
3-0 to 3-2. This is impressive work on the mound there to go. And then with the strike,
Wow.
3 strikeouts in the inning. That is, started that at bat, down 3-0 on the count and battled back and got the strikeout.
It's wild to see. Great job there by McKenna Lee.
Good to see pitchers, when they get backed up in that count, they got to battle back, get some foul balls, get a swing and miss or whatever, and Lee did great there to get the strikeout.
Yeah, that was great work from McKenna Lee. And again, you know, the basis of defense for baseball, softball is your pitching. So when you have a good pitcher, someone who can strike out at a mound, it takes a lot of pressure off of the defense and it puts a lot of pressure onto the offense, because it's not only just a physical game, but it's a mental game. Imagine you're a player, you've been hitting good, and you get people on the mound, or you get on the mound, you're in scoring position on second and third, and you can never close. That really weighs in, especially at this younger part of the game where people may not be as mentally headstrong as the pros. That weighs in a lot on each player, thinking, wow, nothing I do can work because of the pitcher. And when you have someone's mind, you have their body. When you have the body, you have the game. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back as we go into a commercial, but don't go anywhere yet. We'll have more MSTV softball for you.
Here we go. Leading off the top of the second inning for the Tigers, first baseman number 1, Caitlin Kraft.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with more MSTV coverage at Parrish Community High School as Palmetto goes into the top of the second here. Leading off on the mound is number 1, Caitlin Kraft, the first baseman, the senior, who's going to swing on a chocolate mousse. Looks so good, but so bad for you. Going to slide right past her. First strike.
Caitlin Kraft batting .291 for the Tigers. One of the top on the Tigers. Looking to see if she can get a leadoff runner aboard and see if the Tigers can run up early here.
1-1 count as Caitlin last game was also a piece of the team as well. I believe I think it was her at first base who hit an amazing play, stretching all the way out, hitting the split, I believe it was, to complete the play the catch at first. Some pro level moves there.
First base, one of the most athletic positions on the field. Never know where your throw is coming from, behind you, in front of you, to the side, high, low. Got to be able to make any play and move your body in ways that a body should not be able to move.
100%. That's why we have the most limber players like Pujols playing first base, of course.
We do.
Savannah Durance is on deck here for Palmetto. Be interesting to see what she can do here. She has 40 at-bats, if I'm not mistaken. So she's definitely experienced on the plate. She has played discipline. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
First base is almost like a goalie in hockey. Just, if you're not going to be able to make the catch, knock the ball down. Don't let the runners advance any further.
Yeah. Kraft gets a piece of it. Going to foul it back. And so far, we've seen Sophia, who's on the plate, doing fairly well at the plate, not really allowing much for Palmetto to work with. Some of these have been long, and that's been on both sides. A lot of battles back and forth. But, you know, the name of the game is not allowing base runs or hits. So
it's
they've
clear
been
that
fairly good on both sides.
It's clear that she's locked in here. She is ready. She is getting to work. She is doing her thing.
And Caitlin's going to pass go and collect her $200 as she walks to first base. And coming up next now, number 25, Savannah Durance, who's someone we've seen last time at Lakewood Ranch. Pretty much the same lineup hitting-wise for this Palmetto team. And as far as that game, it was a big district win. However, it didn't really change their seeding that much in playoff competition-wise, but still always nice to come home with W.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
100%. And Durance is stepping in the box. Going to get a little bunt here. The Bulls 100% prepared for that. That's just going to move the first baseman, the hitter on first base, forward. Now the runner's on second. And bringing in number 14.
Maria Michaels.
Maria Michaels.
Smart play there to Bunch. Just get that runner over. Now you got a runner in scoring position, and a ground ball anywhere through should score a run and give the Tigers that 1-0 lead.
You know, you only have one out right now, and it's 100% reasonable to put someone in scoring position. A ground ball sneaks through, a nice fly ball doesn't get caught, and then you're able to potentially score.
As hitting coaches will say, there's a time to hit and there's a time to slug. And sometimes you just got to slug, get those runners over, take your out, but you're going to help your team in the long run as you get them over in the scoring position.
Exactly.
100%. The ref deferring that one to the other ump. And so it's going to be a 1, sorry, I believe it's a 1-2 or is it?
0-2.
0-2 count?
Strike called there.
On that one. So now it's going to be a 1-2 count. Reaching back, throwing. That one's going to be fouled back. She's fighting to stay in.
2 walks already for Mandello.
Something you don't want to see, you know, giving people a free chance to get on base as we're at 1-2 still. Walks are the death of a defense. It's almost like giving away free points, free opportunities. You're only going to get so many chances. That ball is fumbled by the catcher there. No advancement of the runner on second. 2-2 count. We've evened up the count here. Going on probably the 7th pitch so far in this sequence.
Most of these batters got their backs to the sun, so the sun not really a big issue right now for anyone, as Kraft will move to third on the pass ball.
And it seemed like it was going to be, you know, a misplay of the ball there, and the runner was going to go to third, but the ref called it off, so it's 3-2 full count. And this Tiger team has been amazing with battling at the bat, as this is the second time they've been in a full count situation in just a sequence. Going to swing at that one that was up high, and that's going to send her home to the dugout. 2 outs.
First strikeout for Mandello.
Savannah Damon now up for Palmetto. And what I've seemed to notice is, like we were talking about earlier, Palmetto seems to be playing all of their freshmen in the same spot. They started off with a senior, and then it's just been freshman from there.
100%. You know, both of these teams super young, but again, so super talented. And talent is the lifeblood of sports. And that's something we have a lot of in Manatee County. So I'm always happy to be able to come out to these games and be able to witness, you know, greatness as it forms.
I agree.
Packed house tonight too. Both sides of the field are pretty full, not very many empty seats here. So it's nice to see that parents and family are getting out, and friends getting out to watch some softball on a beautiful Wednesday night in Manatee County.
You know, Parrish Community High School, and you see the community out here in full force for the baseball and softball game, which are going on simultaneously.
Both playing
Bulls,
Palmetto.
And yeah, Bulls and Tigers on both sides. So this is what you want to see in the county. This is something that you want to promote and see much more of.
It's a rivalry night.
Right. We're here, 1-2 count. Only a runner on second, going to swing on that one, and that's going to close the top of the second.
And going back real quick to what you were mentioning about how there's so much great talent in Manatee County. MSTV, I'm grateful. I just wanted to say I'm very grateful for the opportunity that's been provided and just all the great talent that MSTV has been showing off throughout the whole county, whether it's softball, baseball, football, basketball. Just so much great talent being shown to everybody by MSTV. Couldn't be more grateful.
100%. Speaking of, you know, talent athletics, you know, baseball last year from Parrish, a nasty team that we did cover playing at the Marauder Stadium. And, you know, there's a lot of talent. The Parrish basketball team was amazing. You know, they've made improvements. They actually have a good friend of mine who's coaching from Booker, I can't call his name at the moment, but he just took position over here at Parrish. And, you know, there's a lot of good things going on at Parrish High School. It's really coming together. When I was in high school, I graduated 2021. Parrish was just being built, and then now it's finished, and it's really taken off. You know, it's blossoming, already getting state titles and things of that nature. Something you wouldn't expect for such a young school. But that's going to build into the rich traditionalism for this Parrish College in the future. As we go into the bottom of the second, leading off is number 10.
Hannah Lewis leading off. First baseman for the Bulls. And she looks to, she's also 18 games played, 314 average. She started almost every game except 2 or 3. But you can't play every person every game. You gotta give some people some days off.
As that ball is given a quick vacation towards the football stadium, which is getting a brand new turf field.
It is getting a turf field pulled in. Haven't seen it, pulled up on Facebook this afternoon and saw they're getting a new field, so good. That field served its purpose for its 3 or 4 years, and now able to, and that just gonna upgrade the football program even more as they've developed through the years now.
Definitely. Speaking of, do you still keep up with, I know you were a golfer here at Parrish, do you keep up with the golfing scene?
I do, yeah. So the Parrish golf team won great season again, but they have one of their players was playing in the LECOM Suncoast Classic Junior Pro-Am, as that one's popped up to third, tripping over the bag, but making the catch. A nice play. He made a hole-in-one at the Junior Pro-Am over at the Corn Ferry event the other day, so
Beautiful.
That was cool to see.
Beautiful. And speaking of golf as well, we had the Masters, which just happened, which had a crazy showing there.
It was a great finish. One that you will remember, not quite as much as Tigers win in 2019, but Rory finally finishing that slam after an 11-year drought is just so happy for him and everything he's been through to finally get that win.
And on the mound right now, we have number 27, Mackenzie Mandello, stepping at the bat for the first time for the game. Coming in already, I believe getting a ball in that first pitch.
Pendello is also one of Parrish's heavy hitters with an ERA of 4.72. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Their heavy hitters have already been showing tonight with Alyssa Jones with that dub bowl earlier.
100%. You know, this game is so young. I believe we're going to 7 innings. So right now, I mean, the game started at 7. It's already 7:36, and we barely made it to the top of the bottom of the second. So that shows you how much these teams have been battling back and forth. It hasn't been easy for anyone to get an advantage. That one's popped up in the air high.
People talk about speeding up the game or whatever. I'm a guy, I enjoy sitting down and watching a good baseball or softball game. I want to sit there for a few hours, just listening to the announcers, listening to the weird random stats they throw at you. You're like, huh, I've never heard of it that way. So these long games I really enjoy. I don't like any of those pro games that are sitting right at 2 hours. I want at least 2.5 to 3.
100%. I think that the beautiful thing about this softball game is it's even though it seems like we've been out here long, it's been a steady pace. You know, there's been a lot of action back and forth at the mound pitching, and then there's been a couple ground balls, a couple that sneak through, and then overall an enjoyable time here.
I agree, and the fans are also, they all seem to be enjoying it. They're all getting loud. Every little part of the game, you're going to hear them getting loud. It's going to be an interesting night, that's for sure.
Another strikeout, and that is 4 strikeouts for Lee, all of them swinging. So she is cruising up there on the mound.
Chapman up now for Parrish.
We have at the mound now number 22, Melinda Chapman, who's coming into this game.
Chapman
Her
with
first hit at the mound.
With an even 400 ERA and 20 hits on the year.
20 hits on the year, getting pretty much a hit for every game played, if not more. So someone you really have to watch out for, who's able to make something happen. And one thing, too, you know, this crowd is quite deep for a high school game, and there's a lot of emotion, a lot of noise out here. That one's going to be swung on just a touch too late. Going to get past her.
Spivey giving some, just drive those hips forward and move the arms and just put the ball in play. You never know what can happen. If you put it in play, good things happen. And everyone here thought that was a strike, but it's gonna snag a ball there. So
Yeah,
keep
that
her
one
at
right
bat
there, I
alive.
thought that was right over the plate, but, you know, our angle, we can't really see that well, so it's probably off to the right.
Waits the pitch from Lee. Taking high, so she'll take another ball.
Might I add, going back to what you're talking about, with just like the calmness and the serene, just the sunset in the background, it's absolutely beautiful out here.
It is beautiful.
And that's something we didn't mention earlier, but the sun being where it is can definitely bother hitters as much as it can bother us. So kind of at an angle there. And that one's going to be low and off the plate, so it'll be a 2-2 count. Even, a full count.
Another one. It's
And again, you know, these long at-bats really putting a hurting on both pitchers.
McKenna Lee is really moving the ball around here, making all these pitches unpredictable, but in a great way here, as seen right there with another strikeout on the night. It's very interesting to see.
That's 5 now for Lee. 5 through 7 batters. 7 batters, 5 strikeouts.
She's been absolutely electric so far. Again, cruising on her way to, I believe, 500. I'm not sure exactly how many she is away from her number, but I was speaking with Coach Emery, and he spoke about her very highly, and they're hoping, you know, to get her to that possibly this game. Maybe not, but they definitely have a playoff push that they're going to be going for. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back as we're going to show a little bit of the inside of the van. You're going to get some behind the scenes of MSTV. We'll be right back. Look at that, the amazing van crew. People that you don't really get to see or hear, but they're here and their presence is felt at every single camera angle, every single switch, every single graphic, everything that you see on screen. They're the ones who are making it happen. And they're all led by the commandant, Mr. Carl himself.
Being in the trailer is just as important as we're over here. Me being on both sides going to college, it shows the van or the trailer, whatever it is, can be a lot of pressure. It can get very noisy, it can get very quick, but as long as you're able to bounce, it will be great for everyone if they just get both sides of the experience in front and behind the camera.
I agree, and especially I haven't been doing this as long as you have, and you've been a great mentor helping me through all this, especially with just everything else. And I wanted to also, while we're at it, shout out a bunch of my classmates. I have Kevin right here behind me on one of the cameras. Thank you to Brooklyn for doing her camera work and her reporting. Thank you to everybody in the van, because there's a bunch of interns that have come from other schools too, not just from Parrish. We have people from Palmetto and all over the county. Shout out, he's not here, but shout out to Mason, who I did basketball with against Bayshore for Parrish's senior night. There's just people come from all over, and I'm just very grateful for this opportunity and everything.
Also, speaking about the van, thank you to the lovely spectator, an older gentleman I met out here at the last Lakewood Ranch game. He brought us some coconut maroons for some treats. You know, we appreciate the community investing in us. They know, you know,
They were very good.
We some growing boys, man. We gotta stay fed. We hungry. So as we come back to the game here, number 33, Kaylin Capps in a battle as she pops that one up over and is gonna hit the side of the football press box. Probably a little bit of revenge that they're getting a brand new field, and Parrish is not. Softball team isn't.
Getting scared they might be targeting the van here. That's about 4 that have started to go that way.
Yeah, we don't need the van to get hit, unfortunately. Things are expensive these days. We want our van to stay beautiful and pristine.
Yes, we do.
For years to come. As we're back here, Sophia fighting this one again as she fixes her hair. A 2-2 count. So again, you keep seeing a lot of high counts for all the batters who stepped up here. No one has really gone 3 and out or seen 4 pitches, 5 pitches. We're talking about 6, 7 pitches. That one's gonna be bounced towards third, an easy play to first. And Kaylin Capps is gonna be struck out at first base there.
They made that seem easy. They're flawless.
And that's the biggest part, you know. As much as we talk about the spectacular plays, as much as we talk about the amazing pitches, the nasty pitches, the biggest hits, it's all about making the routine, because you got to walk before you run, and that's something that this Bulls team is great at. The fundamentals are there.
Here's Kraft up for her second at bat. She lined out the first time.
line out the first time. I believe that was towards third base, and she was thrown out at first. So she's looking to make a redemption here as she is at the mound again. So the first full rotation of this Parrish hitting lineup.
Mandela pretty good through that first. Gave up those 2 walks, but also put 2 strikeouts in there. So equaled out those strikeouts to walks. Gave up only 1 hit. So pretty good start for her on the mound.
Pitch was a little low there.
That pitch was scraping the ground, and so that's going to make us into a 2-1 count. The Tigers 0, the Bulls 0. No one making any points yet. We shall see. That one's going to be hit towards third. It's going to be touched, but goes foul. And so the ref is going to call it dead.
One thing I'm noticing from this year to last year, both on the Parrish side and the Palmetto side, not that many slappers. Last year they had a few, they had 3 or 4. Just, it's a lot easier for softballs. They can hit and get their momentum moving to first, but they're all just sitting there and they're taking their bats and they're using every pitch they're given.
That's 100%. You don't see people doing any running off like last year. More, everyone's loading up, ready to really hit power. Chasing that one high is going to send her back to the bench.
Leilani Cruz back up to bat here for Palmetto. We've been talking about her a lot tonight already. With her amazing average of 345, it's going to be great to see what she does here.
Leilani Cruz last time at bat, I believe, was walked.
She singled her first time up.
Singled her
single
first.
got to second, almost got to third, but the umpire said, "No, it was a foul ball. You're going to have to go back to second. You aren't getting any further."
Right. So someone who was able to get on mound, the first one to get on mound to start the game out, looking to have a repeat, potentially go for a double. And, you know, one of the things about Leilani being on the bases, she puts a lot of pressure on the defense, especially the pitcher, as she is known to run. She will take off from first to steal second. She, I believe, has 6 stolen bases now in the year. She had 5 coming into the Lakewood Ranch game last time. And that one's fouled back again towards the van.
Van is safe again.
And luckily, it doesn't hit anybody or the van.
Oh, and they lost their tennis ball.
No.
And there goes the tennis ball over the fence.
When you come to these Parrish games, make sure you bring your glove, because you just never know what may happen. As we are here again, back battling. Mannering looking at the wrist, rubbing the ball off, reaches back, throws one. That one's going to come a little bit high. Some good pitches, you know, some good umping here. So a lot of these pitches are tough to call. Some of them look like they're right over the plate, just a touch high. Some of them are a little bit over the numbers. Some of them a little bit low, some of them a little outside. So some good umping here so far. He's been very consistent with his calling.
Sun not much of a factor anymore as that one's popped up. It's going to go foul over towards the Bulls bullpen. The sun pretty much down into the trees. Wind still blowing just as hard. Cooling off temperature-wise. It has cooled off a few degrees since when we began the broadcast. So take into effect the ball, how far it will go. Ball won't travel as far when it's cold, not as able to get it as compact.
Like what Frederick was saying, just much respect to the umps here, as I don't even know what to call in some of these situations, as there is a great hit down towards the center, towards the back, as Leilani is rounding for second, and she has an amazing double there. And Palmetto's dugout and the fans are hyped.
Not going to jinx it. She's halfway to the cycle. I wouldn't be opposed to seeing a cycle tonight. It's a pretty impressive thing. Very hard to do.
Leilani Cruz, a big hitter there, able to find the gap on the outfield and using those legs, those fast feet to get the second, just barely beat it out. Good hit, and definitely a big booster to this team as the crowd erupted. And even worse, they have another big hitter, their best hitter on Palmetto, coming into the game with someone in scoring position and only 1 out on the game so far. Stepping into the batter's box, number 16, McKenna Lee, the pitcher extraordinaire, who also can do it on the other side. She's like Shohei Ohtani, but in Florida.
She drew her walk first time up. So see what she can do this time. Maybe drive in Cruz over at second.
This is a big throw here. Sophia throws it. Gonna call that one a little high. Over the middle. 1-0 count. Runner on second. Good position here for the Tigers to make something happen, to be able to strike first and get on the board. You got some of your top hitters. As that one is flung back towards the crowd. Going to be a 1-1 count. I just noticed that McKenna has a FAU sticker on her helmet, which is definitely big news to you because those are like your rivals down there.
Big out, yeah. FGCU in-state rivalry between the Eagles and the Owls. I had the privilege of calling one of the baseball games. The FGCU Eagles walked it off in the bottom of the ninth. Big moment for the Eagles is that one is off the press box again. They are attacking the football field. But FAU and FGCU, they do not like each other. Basketball pulled off the upset earlier in the year. Baseball, they played them at Hammond Stadium, home of the Twin Spring Training. So FAU and FGCU, great rivalry down in South Florida.
Definitely heats up a lot, and that's something, you know, I was taking a peruse at the banners that they have aligned the back wall at the press box that's being abused tonight, and they have a lot of players who are going local, like colleges like New College and things of that nature, and that's a big part about the Manatee County sports is that there's a lot of talent here, and it's just great to see the journey on MSTV and then catch them maybe on ESPN. And wow, what a great throw there.
An interesting stat, too, is that every single senior on Parrish has committed to a school to continue their softball careers. So it's just a great program Spivey has, showing, like we talked about before, the commitment that these players have and how she's committed to her players' personal growth in their sport, not just the team's benefit, but their overall benefit.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back after a quick break. Don't go anywhere yet. MSTV, Tigers versus Bulls.
We welcome you back into Parrish Community High School between the Tigers and the Bulls, bottom half of the third, no score. Bulls looking to tack on and snag an early lead here in the third.
While we're here, I would just like to say thank you to all of the interns that we have here. For our camera operators, we have Brooklyn Deckman and Landon Spawnable. And in the truck, we have Mike, Parth, and Tommy. And then our seniors, Jackson, who couldn't be here tonight, and then Neelam, who's currently filming because she could do everything. So thank you guys so much.
Great crew here. Just what this program does for everyone. As another bonus foul back. Just so good to have this kind of stuff. Get kids into this type of words not in brain now. But just get them into these situations and scenarios and see just what you can do. You never know. Never know what you can do.
Bailey Fields up to bat here, 1-0 count. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here. This game has just been back and forth, both teams getting on base, but the defense has still been holding them off.
That is another strikeout. That is,
wow.
That's 6 strikeouts now, 3 straight. And that, just some great pitching by Lee to get all those strikeouts. Josie Berg up now for the Bulls, her first time to the plate. Takes the first pitch, another strike from Lee. She is throwing them in quickly, and she's throwing them in well.
Wind's starting to die down here slightly. It's going to be interesting to see how that affects the game going forward.
Wind dying down, sun going down, temperature cooling off, a swing and a miss. Lee looking for strikeout number 7. That is
great job by Lee so far. Just like you've been saying, back to back, just strikeout after strikeout after strikeout. And you don't see that often in not just high school, but in college and in professional sports. You don't really see that, whether it's softball or baseball.
Number 7.
Wow.
7 strikeouts through the first 9 batters to see the plate. The only 2 non-strikeouts, a double by Jones and a pop-out by Lewis. Everyone else has mostly struck out swinging.
Back to the top of the lineup here for Parrish.
Shows bunt. They're just that one. Oh, up and over the fence on the bunt.
Close call there. Glad to see everyone's okay.
You hate to see those coming and hit people. It's not a fun thing to see.
That's just why you got to keep your head on a swivel.
High fences, but it's hard to avoid.
You have those fast reflexes.
Rode, she was the first victim of Lee of a strikeout. And she takes another strike there.
Elite pitching here tonight.
This is phenomenal.
From both
pitching.
sides, honestly.
Both sides. We're in for a pitcher's duel. This is looking like it could be one of those 1-0 wins, 1-2, 2-1. It's not, doesn't seem to be too high scoring yet. That one right on the elbow. That sounded like it hurt. I would not be running off like that to first. I would need a moment.
I would be on the ground crying after that one. I'm not going to lie to you, Eli.
Softballs are not soft.
No, not at all.
They do not.
They need to rename them, in my opinion.
They rename them hard balls. They are not soft whatsoever. And
as Coach Aaron Spive and the ump seem to be having a conversation about what just happened.
Seems like umpire may have ruled that she chicken winged out to take the hit, so she may be coming back. As Coach Emery looks on for the Palmetto Tigers. Spivey getting an explanation. And fusion here.
She
said it
seems to
was
be
a
in some
ball.
pain here, yeah.
I'm not sure. In a
Hate
little
to
bit of
see
pain,
it.
shaking it out. Not sure anyone knows what's going on. And Spivey telling her to shake it off, and she's going to be seems that she's going to be back at the plate. Seems to be fine back at the plate, so
Takes a strong person to be able to do that.
it'll be a 1-2 count. Not quite sure what happened there, but oddities of softball.
It happens. We're back. Here we go.
See what she does after taking a hit but not getting a base. And that one called just low. So it'll be 2-2 on road. Bulls dugout getting loud, trying to hype up road, get her on over to first. Lee will step into it. And a strikeout, so it goes from a free base to a strikeout. That is now
Number 8?
number 8. 8 strikeouts.
Wow.
This is a treat. This is a real treat we are getting.
I
offered
agree,
to.
and it's just great to see just the competitiveness we were talking about. And going back, Parrish's defense, they're showing their commitment. You have earlier at the beginning, close out there by Cassidy Ott. What a catch just to bring the out and to flip over into the bottom. As we're entering the top of the 4th here, what are your thoughts so far, Eli, on how these defenses are going?
It's pitching. It's been great pitching. It's been great defense. Really only one good hit was that double by back by Cruz. But other than that, it's been pretty much locked down everywhere. Defensively, pitching, batting. It's going to be a struggle.
And if you are just joining us, it is a 0-0 game here. We are at Parrish Community High School out here. Beautiful Parrish, Florida, Manatee County. We love Manatee County sports out here. Great Wednesday night, perfect temperature. The community's out here rallying behind their local schools. It's great to see.
Palmetto not too far from here, so an easy trip for all their friends and family to make the trip over. The seniors nearing the end of their high school career. Bulls looking to claim a 3rd straight state championship. Changed divisions, moved up to, went from 5A to 6A now. So looking to tack on a 3rd straight. As that pitches in for a strike on Peters. She grounded out her first time up.
Peters is one of Palmetto's seniors, and like we said, Palmetto and Parrish both don't have that many seniors playing, but their seniors are still a huge part of their team, especially in their journeys. With Parrish, this is their 5th season total, 5th or 6th?
5th or 6th, yeah.
And a lot of these seniors, have been there since the beginning, and they've been there for the past 2. A lot of these juniors also have been there for the past 2 state runs, and it's great to see the back-to-back and just how they're still out here, they're working hard, they're not giving up, and they are showing Coach Spivey that they won a 3rd and they want that 3-peat.
3-peat would be nice to add to your high school softball resume for those girls that started as freshmen, or even the ones that started as sophomores. They could have a state championship in all 3 years they've played. So it's a 2-2 count now on Peters.
Sophia Mandarin hard at work here, showing that she is wanting to be the better pitcher in this game. Both pitchers are playing amazing, and she's just trying to get it going, and Palmetto showing that she's trying to say she wants it more. It's going to be interesting to see how this game goes.
And she picks up her 5th strikeout, so the strikeouts are flying early. That one looking there. 3 strikeouts swinging and 2 of them looking. So it'll be Caitlin Kraft up. She drew the walk her first time up. Looking to tack on and bump up that batting average. But you'll take your walk. If you get a walk at this point with how these pitchers are pitching, you take your walk and you move on. Popped up.
First baseman waves it off, and there's the catch. Second out there. Parrish is just their defense. This is a very heavy defense-driven game here. Hits are being made, but the defenses are all locking them down.
Hannah Lewis over to make that catch for the Bulls and get the second out of the inning. So it'll be Savannah Durant up for the Tigers as she waits the pitch. Big swing and a miss. 0-1 the count.
Just real quick here, I'd like to shout out all the MSTV staff we have. We have our station manager, Matt Messenger, and shout out to Susan Gilbank, who is currently watching this game, and shout out to Michaela Karstens, Scott Martin, and Nick Balchetter. And also, real quick, shout out to Frederick. Without him, none of this would be possible. I'm very grateful. He's been a great mentor to me. And also, while I'm here, thank you, Eli, for all the mentoring you've done. I know we did 1 or 2 things last year, but you've always taught me a lot.
You're gonna make me cry over here. Swing and a miss. That's another strikeout. These strikeouts are flying at Parrish Community. This is a greatly pitched game by both the Tigers and the Bulls, as that is over 8 and quite a bit of strikeouts here. Both sides. They are pitchers just cruising.
I agree. It's like I've said this a couple times, heavily defense driven. It's going to be hard for all these batters to just try to drive the balls past them there. It's just up next, it looks like we got Kendall France coming up to bat for Parrish. And it's going to be interesting to see if she can make anything happen here.
France, her first time up, she struck out. It's the first of 2 back-to-back for Lee, and she will go back out there on 8 strikeouts, looking to get to double digits on the night. So France will lead it off for the Bulls. It'll be France, Jones, and Ott up for the Bulls. If you're going to get a runner on base, you're going to have to get him over, and you're going to have to get him in.
I agree, and it just, these dugouts have really been rallying behind their batters, trying to give them more motivation here. And it's, what I've noticed is it's starting to work more and more effectively over time. They're getting more hits, more hits. We're going to wait and see. Because at the beginning of the game, you didn't get that many hits, and now here.
And her first slap hitter of the game, and she is just late.
Out.
So it'll be a ground out and a quick out for the Tigers.
I got some more shout outs here. I'd like to shout out all the high school TV production teachers in the county. I have Dan Russo, Dr. Suzanne Jarl, and Chris Yates of the Pirate Nation Sports Network, Byron Stedman for Lakewood Ranch, Chris Peters of Manatee, Alex Gardner of Palmetto, Amanda Clark of Southeast, and then Parrish's very great Aaron Lish. As another ball is fouled out here. A lot of balls are getting fouled out here today.
They're making contact, just not, most of them being late on these pitches, just not able to get them driven into the field. They're making contact, so their vision is good. It's just getting your timing correct and putting it in the right part of the field. So Jones doubled her first time up, fouls that one off, 0-2. That one may have got a piece of every single person there, batter, catcher, and umpire. Jones, 489 the average, the best on the Bulls. Sheelix Tukin, 15 RBIs, second most. Another foul ball, that's 3 straight from her.
I'd like to point out that the crowds out here keeps growing more and more as time moves on. I think the town's starting to hear about how close this game is, and they all want to see it for themselves.
The town is filing in, and they are filing in quickly. Jones set tall in the pitch. He's taken high for a ball off the glove of the catcher. So it'll be 1-2 on Jones. The wind is pretty much gone. The sun, pretty much gone. The lights beginning to shine on the stadium. There's just something about softball and lights on the field.
I agree. It's a great feeling, whether you're a fan watching it or a player on that field.
Much cooler now. It's going to be more comfortable for everyone, players, spectators, everyone. It'll be much more enjoyable as the Bulls dugout gets their chance going to try and get their hitters going. Jones awaits the pitch, fouls off another one. She is having a heck of a battle at the plate.
She's looking for a big hit here just to help get some momentum going for Parrish. And it's clear both sides are trying to build momentum, and both defensives, like we've said, they have their momentum, obviously, with all the strikeouts that are being put up by McKenna Lee for Palmetto and the strikeouts that Sophia has for Parrish. And it just, I think they're trying to transfer some of that energy on over to the offense.
Eventually that big hit's going to come from one of the sides. In this place, no matter what side it's for, is going to erupt, and Jones wants to have the big moment. As she takes that one outside, so from 0-2 to 3-2 on Jones, she's battling, and she's battled all the way back to a full count.
A lot of full counts tonight, I've noticed.
A lot. Anyone's game. Here.
The night's still young.
Night is still very young. 8 o'clock, we've been going for an hour, as that one's fouled back again by Jones. One of the longest at-bats so far. And Lee's just got to be thinking, what am I going to have to do to get her to swing and miss? Or do I just throw that ball, give her a base, and move on to the next batter and Cassidy Ott?
Props to Lee here for staying calm and composed and just staying locked in on her game during all these moments like this. Because if I were her, I don't know where I would just start. I just want to move on to the next batter.
I just want to be like, can we just walk her and move on? But she is, as Jones fouls off another, that one just clips the bat. She got about the bottom 16ths of an inch of that ball to keep this at-bat alive and face another pitch from Lee. As here it comes from Lee. Again and
again. Wow. They're showing the fight, like I said, not giving up, wanting to get those hits.
Never give up. Just keep battling, keep going. You never know what could happen. One of these could catch. She's got room down the third base line. She can poke one the other way, just shoot it down that third base line. As Lee will step into it and fire again. Outside and a walk to Jones. That is one heck of an at-bat by Alyssa Jones.
The Palmetto crowd is getting loud for that call there.
That is one of the best at-bats you can have as any player at any level. A long at-bat like that, the good eye coordination to just take your walk and wait for that moment to come where you can snag a free base.
The catcher, number 7, Cassidy Ott, up to bat here. Ott has been having herself a night, not just at bat, but also behind the plate. She is showing her determination to win to help this team, as she is fouled out over on top of the press box. It stayed in the fence up there. Very impressive.
That one, another one. That's the 4th or 5th ball to the press box. We've had 3 towards the van. We've had 1 over the van. They are flying all over the place.
Like we said earlier, get your gloves out, folks.
Pitch to Ott. Almost a check swing like there. Tried to get it held up. She couldn't. Took a strike 0-2.
Coach Spivey has some words to help out Cassidy here.
Jones, you know Jones wants to go and snag a free and take the walk and then get the stolen base. Everyone going to talk. Spivey going to talk to Ott, tell her what she wants, and the Palmetto infield going to have a chat with Lee. Just keep her in a good headspace. She's thrown a lot of pitches thrown on both sides. A lot of strikeouts, but a lot of pitches.
I agree. It's been a very interesting night for both sides.
Everyone is.
Ott looks determined here. She is ready.
Toes on the front edge of that batter's box. And here it comes. A swing and a miss. It's another strikeout for Lee. That is number 9 for Lee.
Wow. That is insane.
Here's Hannah Lewis. She did not strike out. She popped out her first time up. One of the very few without a strikeout. Lee will look to make it double-digit strikeouts. And here comes the pitch. Take it for a strike. 0-1.
Props to all these batters for, they've all shown great plate discipline, knowing just when to hold back. And me personally, if I was behind the plate, I'd be swinging at everything. Let's just be real here.
Plate discipline, a very important aspect of the game. That one's fouled off towards the Bulls dugout. An 0-2 count again. Lee's gotten to 0-2, but she's had a lot where she's gotten the batters, and they've gotten to 3-2 and just keep you in their head. So see if she can get a 3-pitch strikeout on Lewis. She's got a new ball, and she's set to fire away with 2 outs in the bottom half of the 4th. And another strikeout. It's double-digit strikeouts for Lee, and she is cruising at Parrish Community. That's 10 for Lee.
Insane. And if you are just joining us, just what a game we have so far. Like Eli just said, 10 strikeouts for Palmetto's pitcher. It's wild to see. Both sides showing very strong defenses here. And it's a great game, beautiful night here in Manatee County. And while we have another break, I have some more shout outs, actually. I promise, I know, shout out, shout out, shout out. But this one is very important. It is to all the athletic directors in the county. So shout out to Chris Brady from Bayshore, who actually retired in the middle of the year, and then Daryl Mackey, who is now Bayshore's current athletic director. And then shout out to Matt Nesser from Braden River, Kent Ringquist from Lakewood Ranch, Matt Bowling from Manatee, Brian Wilkes from Palmetto, Sean Trent from Parrish, and then Matt Kitchie from Southeast. And his son actually broadcasted with us last year, so shout out to them.
So it'll be Michaels, Damon, and Cups up for the Tigers. And it's the designated player, Maria Michaels. Struck out her first time up. 5th inning now. Only 7 innings in softball. So only 3 more innings to get any scoring, or we're going to be headed to extras. That one is pop foul. So it'll be 0-1. Lights now.
Hannah Lewis was running for that one there. She was wanting to get that out.
Lights now lighting up the field. It's cooled off pretty quickly. It's pretty chilly.
I went from being hot to being a little cold out here.
I did, yeah. So 0-1 coming up to Michaels. And she awaits the pitch. Way high, but a good snag by Ott behind the plate. Just battling both sides at the plate, just trying to get a hit. You know, one of them wants to have that big moment. As the pitch, swing and a miss. It's a 1-2 count on Michaels. Michaels looks in and waits the pitch. Taken high, count even up at 2-2. Mandello looking to pick up her 7th strikeout.
It's a strikeout heavy night here.
That one taken low. Count will be loaded up at 3-2. The count on Michaels. A strikeout her first time up in the second. Mandello looks to a wrist, gets the sign. Oh, and the pitch grounded back to short. The throw in time.
Nice play there by the defense. Savannah Damon up to bat again for Palmetto here.
Nice play, quick reactions over at short as Wolves get the first out of the inning.
We are back into the heart of Palmetto's freshman lineup here. And like we were mentioning earlier, just filled with young talent out here, mainly sophomores and freshmen, some juniors and some seniors, but just heavily underclassmen driven here.
Last year, very heavy, senior heavy for the Bulls, and now going to that lower end. Same with Palmetto. They lost a lot of seniors, and now they're working with a young team. That one is driven over to right. It is going to be a single, throw high, but backed up by Ott. So it's a one-out single for Damon, and the Tigers have to go ahead and run aboard.
Nice hit there by Damon. And maybe this is the beginning of that momentum that the dugout has been trying to build by being loud, and the fans have definitely been helping out here.
The 2 hits we've had, they have been squared up on the bat. They've been loud. Sounds like some action over at baseball.
Number two, courtesy for the catcher.
And gonna have a pinch runner over for Damon is gonna be Peters, sophomore. As Mandello gets her pitch again.
Here's the pitch.
Bunt popped up. Oh! Ott tried to make the diving play. It would have been great. Just off the end of her glove, so it'll be a foul ball, 0-1.
Nice try there.
The Bulls are not giving up on these balls. If they're anywhere near them, they're gonna go all out to try and catch them.
No, they are not. And Ott is clearly putting her heart and soul and her body on the line for Spivey and the Bulls tonight, and it's great to see.
As Mandello fires in the pitch. Bunt show, taken for a strike. Peters is back just in time. Smart idea by Ott to throw over to first and maybe steal an out. But Peters was able to get back just in time. So Caps up at the plate, 0-2. As she awaits. Pitch from Mandello. Peters runner at first. The pitch fouled off again, another foul ball. I wish we had a foul ball tracker. That thing would be sky high right now.
Maybe that's something that can be implemented next year.
Foul balls, you see them all the time, but I've seen a bunch in this game. Which is good from the batter. It shows that they're battling and they just can't quite get that timing right. So Caps will await her 0-2 pitch is outside for a ball, 1-2.
Coming into this game right now, you've seen a lot of fighting from both ends, and although we've seen a lot of high pitch counts, we really haven't seen much production leading into runs right now. And that really comes off the backs of both of these pitchers here. One of the things, I was just speaking with the father of McKenna Lee, who actually is committed to FAU, Florida Atlantic University, so she'll be going down there. But one of the things we discussed was how important pitching is, especially at this high school level. And you can see that because right now both of these girls, McKenna Lee and number 11, Sophia Mandarin, have been keeping both of their teams in this game, keeping people off the bases and not really giving a chance for people to get a good hit and good contact on the ball.
Only 4 base runners for the Tigers. Damon makes 5. So they've had 5 base runners, none of which have passed second base. So if you're not getting him in a scoring position, it's going to be hard to get him in all the way from first.
And think about it, we're in the top of the 5th inning and there's only been 5 people on base. We're talking about a person per inning. This is not a position you want to be in at any level of sports. Only essentially 5 chances of getting some points on the board.
Only 5, and even on the other side, the Bulls themselves, they've only had 2.
So the Bulls only coming in with 2 people on base.
And
so
10
again,
strikeouts.
And 10 strikeouts. Amazing. McKenna Lee actually only 2 strikeouts away from 500. So she's right on the cusp.
Down low. Another full count.
Palmetto's dugout just seems to be getting louder and louder. Like I've been saying, they're trying to build that momentum. It's starting to build with that hit right there, but they're trying to strengthen it and grow it even more and try to get more runs in.
100%.
More hits on the board.
We all know the meta game inside the game is momentum. A lot of people don't speak about this, but when your team is going into an inning or going into a quarter or going into a period of play, and they have the momentum, they're able to better kind of catch a groove and catch a rhythm, and that's a dangerous place. You don't want the other team getting comfortable catching a rhythm and catching the groove, as we have that strikeout right there. Stepping up to the plate, number 3, Caroline Kraft. But right now, both teams on the hitting side just have not been able to find the groove and get out and have that breakout inning where they're able to actually convert on people being on base, let alone even get to the base.
So only 7 total base runners in this whole game. Grounded back to short. Step on the bag at second. That is the 3rd and final out of the top half of the 5th. Still no score here at Parrish Community High School.
A game that's scoreless, a grit and grind game. Reminds me of the Detroit Pistons back in the 2000s. Really have to scrape and fight for every single piece of anything out here on the softball field. I want to swing it over. I believe that we have a good list here of some of the amazing people who help the MSTV world go around. So I'd like to shout out some of the high school production teachers. One at Bayshore, Mr. Dan Russo. At Braden River, Dr. Suzanne Gerald. And Chris Yates of Pirate Nation Sports Network. At Lakewood Ranch, Mr. Brian Stedman. At Manatee, a man who put me into the position that I am today, giving me the connection to be here at MSTV. A big shout out at Manatee, Mr. Chris Peters. At Palmetto, Alex Garner. At Parrish, Aaron Lish. And at Southeast, Amanda Clark. Thank you to all those amazing high school TV production teachers who not only coordinate with us to have students here at the game, but also pour into many students who help serve on this MSTV game.
So it'll be Pendello to lead it off for the Bulls. This only the 2nd time through the order for the Bulls, where there will be Coleman, it looks like.
Pendello, someone who was up last time, and she put in a little work. She's looking to hopefully let that stick fly. We know she's a big hitter, and hopefully she can make some contact and set the Bulls on the right path to success. As Lee is trying to chase her 2 strikeouts to close out her career, or excuse me, the regular season part of her career with 500 strikeouts, an amazing achievement for any player, especially in this high school level.
Any player at any league to get that many strikeouts is something you'll remember for the rest of your life.
And she's been absolutely on a tear here. As you can see one zipping by her, that's going to be an easy strike. Trying to hit a 5-run homer there. No dice, but she's been absolutely vicious on the mound. You know, pretty much striking out almost 80% of people who step onto the plate, which, again, in sports terms, is absolute insanity at the softball, baseball, any level. That's like someone who's able to hit 80% of their shots on a basketball court.
What she's doing is something it's very rare to find even in the majors, whether it's baseball or softball. It's just rare to find someone that can throw is this consistent on the mound, able to get that many strikeouts.
And we're sitting here, you know, we're close to the plate, home plate, and we can see the balls being thrown are fast, they're hard. That one popped off the catcher's mask. She looks up and gives a thumbs up, so she's fine.
Do a quick.
Laughing it off there.
Laugh it off, quick little concussion test, but all seems to be good. That sounded like it hurt, but we love the protective masks. Pitchers wear them, catchers got to wear them, and great to see all the protective gear everyone wears.
Definitely helping prevent injuries at the game, a part of the game we never like to see. Full count here as Pinello steps back in. Looking here. Lee reaching back, throws. That one's popped up in the air. Gonna go towards third. And the shortstop, Leilani Cruz, is gonna come over there, take command, and get that out on the fly ball.
What a night for Leilani Cruz. She is showing how much of a hard worker she is and how dedicated she is.
I was just speaking with Leilani's dad, actually, coincidentally, who's also next to McKenna Lee's father, and, you know, he speaks about her daughter here, you know, the junior. She's very good, very fast, and has a great head on her shoulder. She's always looking, always keeping her head on the swivel, always looking for the opportunity to score or make a play, and she's been absolutely electric for this team. One of the few people to touch the bases out of all the 5 base runners. She's been on base twice so far now. Once a double and one a single, both hits.
Is correct. 1 double, 1 single.
We have Menelina Chapman here on the mound. Going to get another ball there. Be a 2-0 count. Getting a little bit of coaching there from Spivey. Coach Spivey over there giving her a couple words, understanding the gravity of the situation. They're in near the bottom of the 5th with only 2 more innings to go and no points on the board. You need people to stay calm and confident. Tries to swing on that one. It slides by her like a hot knife on butter.
Chapman, a strikeout victim her last time up.
Going to be a 1-2 count. Lee checking out the Rolex. Reaches in the back pocket, reaches back, throws it. That one's hit towards the ground, fouled out towards the first base line. Goes to the dugout. An easy night work so far for the Palmetto outfield. Not really too many getting past the inside of the field. I believe there was only one earlier that hit a glove on the outside that got through a gap.
The double from Jones, the only ball to reach the outfield.
So it's been a pretty solid night for them, and another strikeout. That brings her one closer. Only needs one more strikeout before she's hit her 500 mark.
499.
Wow. So close, and she's been absolutely an absolute monster again on the mound, and that's been really a big piece of this Palmetto success. I feel like if they didn't have such great pitching, this team may not be in the position it's in to be a competitor/challenger right now.
Bowles' dugout is very loud, trying to get in the head of Lee.
As we have number 5,
Bailey Fields. Strikeout victim her first time up, back in the 3rd. This place, the Palmetto side of this place will erupt if Lee can get these last 2 strikes and get the strikeout. And she's one away.
Criminal doing her work and doing it calm as this Palmetto bench roars, knowing how close that their compatriot is to her 500 strikeouts. Will it be here? That one goes right over the middle, and to close out the bottom of the 5th inning, McKenna Lee gets her 500th strikeout on the season. And as you can see, the Tigers are already ready to commemorate such a great moment. They saved that ball there. They have the poster and all. Again, a round of applause here at the stadium and at home for such an amazing achievement. We really love to see things like this in the game and things like this be celebrated.
We can add it on to those big things that happened the last 3 years. Albert Pujols with 700 home runs, Alex Ovechkin passing the great one, and Wayne Gretzky for 896, and now McKenna Lee, 500 career strikeouts.
And this is another amazing moment that you'll only see on MSTV.
You only see it here, only place to watch it, and we're glad that you guys have been along with us as she's picked up, I believe that's 12 strikeouts if my math is correct.
Ladies and gentlemen, speaking about some more amazing shout-outs, I want to shout out some of the amazing athletic directors who helped coordinate this MSTV Game of the Week presentation. We have from Bayshore, Mr. Chris Brady, who retired this year. Happy retirement. We hope that you're enjoying your pickleballing and whatever else retired people do in Florida. We want to shout out Daryl Mackey, who's the current Bayshore athletic director. At Braden River, we want to shout out Matt Nesser. At Lakewood Ranch, we want to shout out Kent Ringquist, who's a good guy of mine, very tall gentleman and strong guy. Guy is huge. It's like Bruce Banner over there. And at Manatee, Matt Bowling. At Palmetto, Brian Wilkies. And Parrish Community, Sean Trent. And at Southeast, Matt Kitchie. The Sun broadcasted with us last year, so that's amazing. Coming off of such a big achievement at the top of the 6th inning, we have number 48, Leilani Cruz, an impact player on this Tigers defense, looking to make even more of an impact on her offense. Every time she's been at bat, she's touched the field.
Triple and a homer away from the cycle. At the rate this is going, probably not going to get that 4th at bat, but if we go into extras, never know what could happen.
Anything could happen. It's high school softball after all, you never know.
Definitely so. Last game at Lakewood Ranch we had a surprise homer out of nowhere. Unfortunately, the wind is kind of still at the moment, so no benefit from nature to get it over that tall fence. Parrish is quite a tall fence out there.
Tall fence, same with baseball's got quite a tall fence too. Don't think it's quite as high, but both fields, this is not an easy. The way they've positioned the fields, the wind not in favor as a batter.
1000%. That one gonna zip right by her head. And we're gonna go into a 2-1. And again, the Pirates, the Tigers getting ahead in these counts. Some you've seen a lot. You've seen a lot of pitchers, especially on Parrish side, having to battle back from a 3-1, a 2-0, a 2-2 count. You know, really having to fight instead of, you know, letting the game be in their hands, or kind of letting the batters decide, giving them a chance not to swing, giving them a chance to look, you know, and really be cautious at the mound.
Mandela will get set to fire in a 3-1 pitch.
And that one's absolutely booted to center field, going to find the glove to rest in. Leilani Cruz belts that one, and the center fielder makes an amazing catch out there.
Another hard hit ball. These balls, if they've made contact, they've hit them in the sweet spot. Just so tough with the wind and trying to elevate these balls and get them up and out of here.
Definitely so. If we maybe would have seen a little bit of wind, that one could have been carried to the fence, or maybe, you know, a little bit to the right, found the gap, but definitely a big crack on that one when she hit it.
The lady of the hour, McKenna Lee, up to bat here.
McKenna Lee coming off, you know, a star-studded career with the Tigers here, you know, and capping it, not capping it off just yet. They still have playoffs, but capping off the regular season, crushing 500 strikeouts, hitting 400. You can see why this player has been recruited to FAU.
Lee does have 2 homers to her name, so if she could get 500 homers and hit a go-ahead, or 500 strikeouts and hit a go-ahead home run in the same game, this would be a game to remember for her.
Definitely so. You know, we're happy that MSTV is here to cover things like this. Earlier we covered the 1,000-point game from the student at, hold on, it's gonna come to me. Oh, just like that ball came straight to the shortstop. That's going to be easy out at first. We were able to cover a 1,000-point game at a game, I believe it was Southeast versus Palmetto, actually. It was, I believe, it'll come to me later. I'll bring it up later. But, you know, we've been able to see some amazing moments and amazing talent here in Manatee County. A lot of people think that Manatee County is one of the easier counties, but in Florida, man, we have a lot of talent that comes out of here.
Kalia Peters up to bat here.
Be Peters, Rondo, and a strikeout. If the ball is hit in play, the shortstop position has been the one where the balls are all heading towards. Both sides, they've had 2 or 3 on each side hit to the shortstop. So the shortstop's been the most active person other than the pitcher on the infield.
And one thing you see is that the way the defense is played in the softball game, especially on both sides, no one covers second. The middle's wide open. They're really looking for balls to shoot up the gap. And they'll leave the middle open. Usually balls don't go that far. You allow your center fielder to come up and make the play. Interesting strategy here. Definitely significantly helps the defense of being able to cover a little bit more ground than usual instead of having to stick someone on second, leaving that right side open. That one thrown seemed like a little low, but he calls it a strike.
1-2 on Peters.
1-2 on Peters.
She struck out looking in the third.
Top of the 6th inning, still no points on the board from either school. They haven't even turned on the scoreboard out here. It's been so dry. That one fouled back. And this fence has been taking a beating. Has a lot of fouled back balls.
Fence is taking a beating. Press box is taking a beating. Luckily, the van is still intact.
Don't want to jinx it. The van, 100% pristine.
We love to see it.
Don't want to jinx it, but
the MSTV van holding on strong.
1-2 to Peters. Strikeout for Mandello again. It's another strikeout. We've had a hodgepodge of strikeouts in this one as we move to the bottom half of the 6th inning.
Good job to Sophia here. She is staying strong and keeping in the fight.
Hard when your opposing pitcher hits a big record of 500 strikeouts, and now you have to come over and you've got to pitch. You're not looking for any record. You're just trying to get out of the inning, but she did great. There's a lot of commotion coming off, and she got locked back in, and she was able to get those 3 quick outs.
And while we're here real quick, I just wanted to go ahead and, well, I got you here, Frederick. I just want to say thank you for everything you've done. Not just this year and last year when I met you originally. Actually, out at a softball game was my first ever commentary event, and you talked me through it and you helped me through it. And ever since then, I've just been in love with the commentary side of everything. It's one of the things I want to do in the future, and I'm just very grateful for all the mentorship and everything you've helped me with. I can't be more grateful.
You know, I'm very grateful to be in this position, to be blessed to get this opportunity. I wish my hair was here to see it, as I've recently gone bald, but you know, I'm just happy to be able to be a pillar in the community to help people grow. And, you know, we have guys like Eli, we have guys like you, we have people behind the camera in the van that are able to take these lessons and these experiences that they're having and take it all the way to the next level. As we have another swing and a miss at the mound here, number 15.
Josie Berg, strikeout. This is the last batter through the 2nd time of the order through Lee. So this is, she's seen each batter up until now only twice. Cruising along. 8:37.
And Lee really, you know, making quick work, not messing around here. 2 strikes right out the gate. Looking to have the knockout shot here. She reaches back, throws the 7. It's clipped off. She fights up the top of the bat. Looks like that one breezed the ump.
That caught a piece of everyone. Off the bat of Berg, may have clipped the catcher a little bit and then catches the umpire right on the mask, but he gets up and he wipes off home plate and he's ready to go.
You know, a lot of people don't know, but the umpires are wearing like bulletproof vests. They have chest plates. They're essentially geared up just like the catcher, and they also get to use the catcher as a human shield.
They do. Catcher's job, protect the umpire. Frame your pitches, try and get some of those calls that might not always get.
And that's something that's good. It's still at the high school level. You know, we don't have automatic pitch machines or anybody talking about that type of stuff. So it's still an element of, you know, the human element to the game, you know, and it allows catchers to develop skills like framing, which is something which is almost becoming a bygone era in the Major League game.
One of the big things catchers work on is getting that frame, maybe pulling a ball that's just outside the zone, pull it in, steal a strike.
All part of the gamesmanship of softball and baseball. Another strikeout, 501. We're going to have to keep a tally mark here. She's on the way to try to maybe set a school record. I wonder what the record is at Palmetto for strikeouts.
Jersey Rhodey up, 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts. She got hit by the pitch, but then was called back to the plate. And now it looks like she's got a wrap up on her elbow, so
She's looking for revenge.
she wants revenge at Lee.
As the baseball heats up, so does the softball field. Josie's going to throw in a bunt, which is going to be caught by the Tigers. Can't sneak that one by them. They're going to have the easy throw to first for the out. And again, we're in a situation where we've only had 2 batters up, and they've both gone down. So absolutely no room to breathe here for this Bulls team.
Here's Kendall France. Strikeout in the first and a ground out back in the 4th.
Kendall looking to make some magic happen here in the bottom of the 6th. She gets a bunt as well, and the Tigers are going to be ready for that. Turns around, but it's thrown as air. She's going for extra bases. She goes to second.
She's going to third.
And she's going to third, taking off. She gets herself the triple.
Wow.
The first time we've seen a player on third in both of these matches here. Sorry, excuse me, the second time we've seen a player on third in both of these matches here. And so the Bulls, with a heads-up play, that one snuck by the Tigers' defense. They got a little complacent, thought she was going to stay at first. She takes off to second and then steals third as well.
Perfect timing as Parrish's heavy hitter, Alyssa Jones, is back up to the plate to see if she can bring this run in home.
Now, the good news is you have a big hitter at the plate. The bad news is you already have 2 outs. So a fly ball won't be enough to bring her home. You're going to need to have a good hit or an error to help bring her to plate, which would be an amazing, monumental task right now, especially with this Tigers defense. Swings on that one.
Jones she was swinging hard there.
She was ready.
That ball, she wanted to drive that one out of here.
Extremely hard on that one. Jones, again, a very tall girl herself. A lot of length to put and a lot of torque into the ball. Going to be time here as they want to talk things over on the Palmetto side. Again, something we weren't expecting, but this is the game of sports. It's all about not making errors, and when your opponent makes an error, capitalizing. And this is something the Bulls did. Even though they only have 2 outs right now, they're still in great position. If they can get a ground ball, maybe something to clip off the base, clip off a hand to bring something in.
Like I said earlier, hit the ball, get the ball in play. Good things happen in the Bulls did that perfectly. A ground ball looked like an easy play. The throw just low and ricocheted weird off the base and off the runner all the way almost to the wall and right. And France was on her horse on her way to third and put the go-ahead run in scoring position with 2 outs in the bottom half of the 6th.
Yeah, amazing effort by Kendall France. She was definitely on her horse. She was on 2 horses. She was on her GT, her Ford Mustang, because she was rounding first, took a very wide angle, still was able to bring it in and then bolt to third. Potentially, maybe could have taken a run for home, but with 2 outs and the game the way it is, you don't want to take that risk. You'd rather have your batter come in and hopefully bring you home.
This shows that Parrish's offense is still alive and that they still have that fight left in them to keep going and to hope maybe bring this game home.
That one's fouled back off the back fence.
0-2 count on Jones.
Jones, who's hit a double in the game earlier, she is looking to hopefully, again, make some of that magic happen. I believe that one was one that snuck past second base into the outfield, kind of got hung up as the Tigers tried to grab it, and she was able to take off for extra. Parrish still got excited as Lee reaches back, throws. That one's going to go low, and you can see
Francis dancing around over there at third. She was halfway down the baseline before that ball even reached the plate.
Francis ready to take advantage ahead in the pitch count, Lee. So she has a couple opportunities to throw a ball. But Francis is ready to take advantage. That one's going to swing. Ooh. Goes up high right by the eyes. She swings on it, and that one's going to send us into the top of the 7th. Lee able to dig her team out of that bad situation.
The Palmetto crowd went absolutely wild after that one. I bet it was a huge sigh of relief for them.
That was a big moment there. You know, Lee was thinking, man, my defense, I got to back up my defense here. She threw the pitch she liked, went up high with the fastball, and Jones, who was swinging for the fences, just swung right on through it. And we are now top of the 7th, no score. Anything can happen now.
As we're in the middle break, I'd like to take a second myself, if we haven't already. Even if we did, we got to do it one more time. I want to shout out the amazing TV production interns. Shout out to our camera operators, Brooklyn Deckman, who's not only a camera operator, but an on-field reporter, bringing us 2 of those great reports. Thank you to Landon Sponsible. He was here earlier. He's behind the camera over there, one of Will's great friends. And in the truck, we like to thank Mike, we like to thank Parth, and we like to thank Tommy. All three great young men doing great things to bring you this broadcast. And our seniors, Jackson Hodge, who isn't here today, and Neelam Jossi, who's actually filming because she can do everything. And that's what the paper says. I'm telling you. Listen, it's crazy. We have a lot of talent not only on the field, but we have it behind the camera as well in Manatee County. So we like to thank all those interns. As we come into a nail biter right here, top of the 7th, no runs on the board for both teams. A big at-bat for the Tigers as they have.
Caitlin Kraft, the heart of the lineup for the Tigers. 5, 6, and 7 hitters, and a strike as Mandelo's out there for the 7th inning. Kraft a walk and a pop out.
Caitlin Kraft definitely looking to make something happen here. A big hitter on this Tigers team as she's swinging, and they're swinging hard. They're giving it everything they got, everything that they got with each swing. And so that's the most dangerous part about this, because you know if you give up something, you're not just going to give up a single. You're not just going to give up a double. You could be potentially giving up a home run. As Coach Andrew is going to take some time to speak it over, telling her to calm it down. Don't worry about the game right now. It's hard because at this moment, this is your last at-bat. This is your last chance to impact the scoreboard.
They're getting very aggressive at the plate. They're swinging at almost everything. They are trying to just get good contact with one of these balls and get them past the very good defense of the Bulls on the infield.
And this is a great position for Sophia to be in because she knows that they're eager. They want something. So she can throw a pitch that's not her usual, as that one's popped up towards the crowd in Palmetto. And one of our local seniors making a play on the ball. Doesn't go.
That football field, again, it's taking hits.
Oh, man, the football field taking an absolute beating at Parrish.
First of the being tore up and now all these softballs.
1-2 count as Kraft steps back into the batter's box. Extremely important swing here. That one's popped up back towards the van and goes towards the football field.
The van is safe once again, folks.
The van is safe. If you've taken the over on the van tonight, congratulations.
He's taking over on the foul balls.
Oh, if you've taken over on the foul balls.
You hit that in about the 2nd inning.
Yeah. If you've taken over on anything other than points.
Yeah, you are.
You've got it.
If you've taken the over on strikeouts, you reached that in the 1st inning.
Right. Great job by Kraft here to keep fighting on. You know, although she's swinging at everything, she's at least fouling them off, giving her a chance to come back and have another time. As her team bellows in the dugout, giving her some words of encouragement.
KFC, I believe they're cheating. I believe they're cheering KFC.
That's what I heard.
They're cheering KFC?
I'm pretty sure they're saying KFC. Kraft a little smile and a laugh.
I think her middle name is F. It's F something, so it's Caitlin Kraft. Caitlin F. Cap, KFC. As she gets one on the ground that goes towards the shortstop, who bobbles it in error. Not too happy about that, the Bulls. Shortstop number 4, Jersey Road, bobbling that one, allowing for KFC to land on the B-A-S-E.
Here is Savannah Durant as she comes up. Strikeout back in the fourth, and then a ground out earlier in the second.
A bunt to advance the player along, so something we could see here. I don't foresee any bunting going on this late in the game, especially with what we're here to do. Oh, but we do. And it pops right up in the air and is caught. Swung to first, but does not count. She is safe. Kaylin Kraft.
She was ready.
And I was absolutely wrong. The bunt immediately coming, trying to get the player along. The play we saw they did earlier just doesn't work. That one didn't hit the ground fast enough.
It's the right idea there if you're the Tigers. Just get a bunt, get a run over. You're going to have 2 outs to work with, but now since you popped it up, now you've still got that runner at first, and now you're looking at 1. Now you got to move them over with 2 outs.
Number 14, Maria Michaels at the bat here. Again, a tough situation, not with your best hitters, not at the top of your lineup. So you're just hoping that these players make some good contact with the ball and are able to sail it through.
Michaels only batting .233 at the start of this game. Strikeout and ground out. Mandela looks to a wrist for the sign.
1 out so far. That one's going to be belted towards right field. Going to go foul. Just barely foul. Probably kissing the line over there. It was,
from my angle, it was real close. For a short second, I thought it was fair.
Yeah,
I was getting excited.
That was going to be an amazing hit. Could have potentially brought a runner home. Going to be 1-1, so still a lot in the count.
Palmetto dugout is very loud, trying to mess them around ahead of Mandela and another pull. That one pulled foul.
That one looked like it caught a little bit of the lower bit of the bat. Speaking of bats, we know that the Yankees have had more amazing technology in MLB. I've not seen the torpedo bats make their way to high school. I don't know if it's a rules thing or just maybe it's too late in the season for people to buy new ones, but
who knows? Probably expensive, that's for sure.
Definitely so. We saw the Yankees pull it out and hit 3 straight homers at their first at-bats, which was insane. Hopefully we can see some of that magic here tonight as we have a 1-2 count. She throws. That one's going to be called a little high and out. So it's going to be a 2-2 count. Great eyes by number 14, Maria Michaels. And again, one thing that you can't say about this ump, he hasn't been consistent. He's been consistent all night, especially on the ones that look, they look like they're right in the middle, they're a little high, or a little too far out. And he's been rock solid on calling them the way it is. This one thrown up high.
Did not go. So it'll be a full count.
Seems a little upset about that call.
This is a big pitch here. Full count, you walk her. You've got runners on first and second with only 1 out.
A dangerous position to be in, especially knowing that this is the final inning for both hitting on both sides. So even if you are Parrish and you go into the bottom of the 7th down 1, that means you have to hit something. You have to make a play. That one's low, and she does walk her. Runners on first and second for this Palmetto Tiger team.
This is a district game, so this game will go until a winner is decided. So we could be here all night.
1 a.m.
1 a.m.
I got no
close
bedtime.
game. I got nothing to do tomorrow.
I don't work tomorrow.
This is Damon. She singled back in the 5th. The catcher. Big swing and miss.
Absolute bad intentions behind that bat swing. Putting full power into it. Only 1 out, which is amazing for this team right now. Unfortunately, you don't have your fastest runners on base, but if you can get something on the ground, potentially move them to third, you're in a golden position. Looking for the bunt, gets the strike. Parrish has been absolute ball hawk, Ed Reed style on these bunts, able to come up quick and not allow anyone any breathing room. They got caught earlier, They will not be caught again.
Great play there by Ott. She was ready to throw wherever she needed. The runners were halfway through the baselines before that pitch reached the glove of Ott.
That one popped up in the air. The catcher looking to make a play. And is not called by the catcher. It's called by the third baseman. Comes off the tip of her glove,
off the glove of
27, Pandello. Tried to make a catch on it. Couldn't. Saves this Palmetto Tigers team another chance to make a play. Coming up on the 5th pitch of the sequence so far. Luckily, I don't think a single ball has been thrown. That one's going to be fouled back.
Just catches a piece of the bat there.
Sophia, the senior, really trying to hold this team together right now, trying to pull out a great defensive effort. She's been good on the mound so far. No balls thrown in this sequence, only 2 strikes. A potential to put her away and put 2 outs on the board. Reaches back, throws. Gets a beautiful pitch down the middle and gets a swing, and that's going to send her to the dugout.
Parrish is still showing that they're not giving up. They're not holding back. They're going to do all it takes to win this game tonight.
100%. Number 33, Kaylin Capps. Another great player on this Palmetto Tiger team, looking to bring some energy. 2 outs now, 2 runners on base, first and second. You're going to need something on the ground or something in the air that drops to move people forward. And Capps doesn't like what she sees there. Great eye is going to be called a ball.
Capps a ground out in the 3rd and a strikeout back in the 5th. Good eye there to take that ball.
Palmetto's dugout's getting loud here. They're trying to rally behind.
Coach understands, this team understands, the coaching understands how big of a moment this is, but you got to stay calm. And 2 balls to start out this one, not what you want to see from the Bulls, especially with the walking history. I believe she has 4 on the day. 4 or 5 walks on the day.
Looks like 3 walks.
3 walks on the day. You don't want to make it 4, especially in this situation. Loaded bases would be an absolute nightmare for this Bulls team. 2-0 count. Capps with great eyes so far, not being fooled by anything that comes over the mound. Sophia reaches, throws. That one's going to sneak past her right down the middle.
2-1 count here. Here we go.
2-1 count.
Lively crowd, lively dugouts. Both sides, softball and baseball, both sides have been loud. Who's going to be the hero in this one?
It's been a great night, that's for sure.
It's been amazing. That one thrown, popped up towards the dugout, goes out foul towards.
Palmetto bullpen getting a little love over there.
That one went out towards the bullpen for the Tigers. So 2-2 count here. Evened up the count. Sophia doing a good job. A potential to put them away offensively for the regular innings of the game. She looks down, reaches back, throws over the middle, going to be fouled back to the left.
Good battle here by Capps. Just getting another piece of that one.
And you've seen a lot of that. You've seen a lot of the batters undercutting it, overcutting it, and fouling it back. So the timing has been there. You've seen a lot of great timing from batters, just not able to get good hits on it. As Capps settles into place. Sophia looking. Energy building. She reaches back, throws. That one's popped towards the middle, caught by a second baseman. Number 17, Alyssa Jones.
Definitely a huge sigh of relief there for Parrish. They were all definitely nervous there, but they stayed in control and they stayed calm and they were able to do this.
I believe that might be the Undertaker bell sounding.
The bell dings.
Bell dings.
The bottom of the
Bulls
7th.
look to have a stampede. Coming into the bottom of the 7th, scoreless on both sides. What is it that you guys have seen so far that's led to where we are?
This is the pitching on both sides. The pitching has been, they've gotten in 0-2 counts, they've fallen back, gotten 3-2, but then come right back and they get a swing and a miss.
For me, the big thing is just kind of adding on to Eli, just defense, defense, defense. it's been heavily defense driven, and it's with the pitcher getting 500 strikeouts, it's been such an amazing game to witness and watch. And a lot of people were expecting a high-scoring game, or
3 for 5 in the 8th spot.
just everyone's been expecting a high-scoring game and quick pace, but it's been nice, calm, and just not that many hits. Honestly, it's been very interesting to see.
100%. I think both of you are right. Both pitchers, Sophia Mandarin and McKenna Lee, have been absolutely excellent of keeping people off the bases. And if you can keep people off the bases, you can keep the game as low scoring as it is. Every single pitch has been a battle. Every single batter has been a battler. As we come into the bottom of the 7th, the Bulls with a chance to maybe walk this one off.
Cassidy Ott up to bat here. Here we go.
And she absolutely rips it towards the press box.
Part of the lineup for the Bulls in Ott, Lewis, and then Pandello will be the third. So,
and again, you know, both teams starting from the middle of their lineup. Not really, you know, not your best hitters, but people you still trust to get in there and hopefully can get the job done. All you need is one run. McKenna Lee is going to make that as difficult as possible. She throws a ball on that one. Going to be a one count.
Ott has 2 home runs on the year. Could we possibly see a third? You never know.
You never know. You know, unfortunately, the wind has died down a lot, but at any moment, anything can happen. Sports are spontaneous like that. That's why we love them. And she's swinging with authority. If you look at her every time she swings, her body stays very still, but you can see her hips and her arms and her back rotating at breakneck speed.
Both pitchers into the 7th inning, complete games, but only one of them is going to be able to snag the complete game shutout. And you know Lee wants it with her 500 career strikeouts that she's hit, which is now bumped up to 501.
100%. I mean, shutting out. They're going to defer that. That one right there. McKenna thinking that they're going to call that a swing. They don't. The other ump saw it as a ball. The Parrish team erupts in enthusiasm and enjoyment. Going to be a 2-2 count here. One away from a full count on the ball side. Making it extremely hard. Everything's been a battle. Swings on that one, and that's going to be a strikeout. McKenna Lee giving a little Matumbo, a no. Not letting that one slide.
If at first you don't succeed, try again.
Number 10, Hannah Lewis coming into the game. She's looking to make something happen here. 1 out, bottom of the 7th, no points on either side. McKenna Lee absolutely on fire tonight, not allowing anyone any breathing room when they come to the batter's box. She throws. That's going to be a strike. 0-1, starting out great for the Tigers. She's really a good fan. She likes to keep it just a touch low or under middle and keep it right down the middle.
A lot of her pitches have been low. She's not throwing that high ball. The one she does throw high, she does get the swing and miss, but she's going low.
That one absolutely belted. Wow. Left field is going to be on the ground.
She is going to second.
Rounding the bases is Hannah
She's
Lewis.
going to
She's going
third.
towards third. Left field throws. Towards third base, it's bobbled.
What a
Hannah
play.
Lewis gets a triple in clutch time.
Parrish's fans are hyped. The dugout is hyped. What a hit. What a play. You love to see it. Just watching that replay there, the curve on that ball, and as soon as that hit the ground, she knew just to kick it into high gear and to get moving. What a hit.
So the winning run at third for Pandello, who's trying to be the hero at Parrish.
An amazing hit from Lewis, an amazing base running, able to get to the triple with only 1 out, really going to put pressure on this defense, especially the pitching, which has been the all-star moment of the game right now. Not only does McKenna have to pitch a good ball, but she can't have a ball that goes past her catcher.
This is the same position she was in last inning. She did have 2 outs last time with a runner on third. This time she's got only 1 out with a runner on third. So can she come back, get in the good mental headspace, and get either the strikeout or the infield's in, so they're thinking maybe a bunt and a squeeze play. and just bring in Lewis from third.
Coach Spivey speaking with Pendello, giving her some words there. She don't know what she said, but could potentially be a bunt play, could potentially be many plays coming here. Seems like she told her to swing away. That's going to clip the bat there. Going to be another strike. 0-2. Only one out again. Lead. The game's in her hands. Right now, you can't have the ball be hit with a ground out. You can't have it be a fly out. Anything but a strikeout is a loss.
Coach Emery letting her have this moment. Now just high, so it's 1-2.
1-2, hoping for her to chase it high. She does it. Still ahead in the pitch count. 2 outs. One out, McKenna Lee.
This is Lee's game.
The Bulls in a position to walk it off here. Reaches back, throws. She hits it towards left field. And this moment, the Bulls have pulled it off.
What a game.
RBI to bring the game home on the shoulders of Mackenzie Pendello. An amazing showing tonight from both teams, but the Bulls stampede and take this one home.
What a moment for Pendello there to drive in that run. Pendello, the sophomore, she's going to have many more big moments here, but to cap off a wonderful game of softball and for her to drive that one just over left, just missed a homer, a great finish.
Oh my gosh, I am speechless. What a turn that game took towards the end there. I'm just completely at a loss. Great battle by both teams, especially by Palmetto. They stuck in it till the end, especially their McKenna Lee. Congrats to her on everything. I'm just waiting to see what great things every single one of these players do. What a game.
It was an amazing game for sure. Both teams bringing their A game, but unfortunately in sports there can be only one victor. And at the end of this matchup, MSTV, the Palmetto Tigers go home with the L as the Bulls from Parrish Community High School take it home today. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you all for joining us on this amazing journey with MSTV, our second year in a row here that I've been here, and also this will be our closing game of the season. I'd like to thank Eli for coming back. I'd like to thank Will for coming back. I'd like to thank all the amazing students, people, parents, teachers, crowd, dog, cat, chicken, who help us bring you guys this amazing production. And I also like to thank Carl, who's the one maestroing this all together. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, y'all have a great night and be safe.